Captain on the bridge.
Alright, captains, we are back on the bridge, and today we got some things to go over from the Star Trek Online X feed and Stow Reddit. So on screen. Yes, captains, before we get into this video, do us a huge favor and hit the like button. But also, if you're new here, welcome. Consider subscribing here to the YouTube bridge, where we're always on the lookout for like-minded captains where we can share our love, our passion for Star Trek Online, but also things Star Trek. Now that said, here we go. Before we get any further, captains, I'm still sounding a little stuffy, so I apologize. But I'd like to say that we're on the mends, but we're gonna just keep doing what we do and hopefully get a little better day by day. So what we're gonna do is go over some things here from the two sites, drop our two ECs, and then at the end give our conclusions. Not one of the best videos we're gonna be covering due to the actual content that we're gonna be going over here, but we're gonna do it anyways. So from Star Trek Online, this is actually from 4 days ago, but we are gonna go over it right now. So oh no, what a terrible loss. Ken, while we were only a small part of your storied career, we'll be forever grateful for the time you gave us. You will be deeply missed. So sadly, Kenneth A. Mitchell had passed away on February 24th. So if you captains are not familiar with who Kenneth Mitchell is, here he is. Again, he has done some work for Star Trek and of some of the roles that he played. And I knew of one. I didn't know of all of these roles. This is absolutely amazing. So Star Trek appearances, he did Cole from Discovery, Cole Shaw as well, Tenavik. Now Tenavik, of course, this is where he did his role here in Star Trek Online. But I didn't know he was in Lower Decks. He was Twerk Captain, and he was also Black Ops in Lower Deck, a Romulan guard, and Aurelio. That is absolutely amazing how many roles he has played in Star Trek. That is awesome, and a very sad news for the Star Trek in general to lose someone who has contributed so much. But again, as we normally say here, when anyone has ever passed away, we can just be thankful for what they have contributed to the Star Trek universe in general. So glad that Star Trek Online gave him a little bit of a shout there on their X feed, just because again of the work that he has done here. So we're gonna move on now. This is thanks to Spencer, aka Casual SAB, who on the stream last night told us of this news. So our very own Thomas Marone, who is the art director, of course, of Star Trek Online. So this was on his LinkedIn page. So we'll go over it here. So I'm looking for my next opportunity as an art director or art manager in games. I have almost 15 years of experience spanning UI/UX, 3D modeling, and team management in GaaS, Games as a Service, and I'm excited to see what's next. You can check out my art station here. For those curious, I am still, so as of at least the recording of this video, and hopefully the release of the video, still on the Star Trek Online team, but am taking steps to plan for the next chapter of my career. So I sat on this a little bit. I didn't want to make a video right away reacting to this. Some of the feelings I have is still kind of, well, at least one of them is shock. I'm saddened, surprised. If anything, I thought Thomas would be the one dev that would just stay in Star Trek Online as long as he could, even to the point of being let go, right? Because he has given us so much of his time, not only work time, but also free time to give us these beautiful ships. And with all that work, it got his work recognized so much that he actually got ships canonized in Star Trek. of course, most famously, the Odyssey class, which is now the Enterprise F, forever in Star Trek canon. And one of, I believe it was like a documentary on Thomas, where he's kind of his journey as a little kid up to now. And this was, of course, again, the whole Picard thing when he was getting his ships there into Star Trek Picard. He's always loved Star Trek. And to have his ships recognized and be put into canon must have been like the pinnacle of his career. So, saying that, and again, going over the thoughts, and of course, of what's happening with the whole Deca move. First and foremost, our thoughts are always with the devs, as in they got to do what they got to do for their loved ones, for their family. They got to look out for themselves. They don't want to be to the point where they are just let go without any backup plan. So I feel like saying he's seeing the writing on the wall and wanting to ensure that, hey, he's putting the feelers out there. I have this much experience, and man, his resume is going to look pretty good for the last 15, at least for the last 2 years, in terms of just working on Star Trek Picard. And you can never knock someone, or I can never knock someone for wanting to take the next leap. We've done that a couple times, taken some risks of moving from job to job or from a new company to another company. And it's not an easy thing to do, but sometimes where you are, as much as you're good at your job or you like your job, you like to think you're secure, at the end of the day, you're really not. So our thoughts are always with the devs, especially in this time where, and just in gaming industry alone, it seems like I was just going through my news feed there, and I think Sony just let go of like 600 employees, I think, or something like that. That's crazy. So the gaming industry alone right now, at this moment, seems very volatile. And they have to do what's best for themselves individually. So they got to put themselves out there, even though they may love what they do. And I think we can all agree that Thomas loves Star Trek, loves Star Trek Online. He has put so much time into it, his own personal time, and it shows. So, what does that mean now, if and when he leaves? Some thoughts. The remastering of ships could possibly take a hit, along with collaborations with getting ships from other sources, whether it be current shows, games, or like even older games or whatever, etc. And as tight as their schedule is now, you take Thomas out and you put someone in new. There may be someone who's obviously working there in Cryptic with him, who's kind of under him, that can take over, but to have that level of dedication, I don't know if they have it or not. And not to say that they won't, the next person who will step in, but this move to Deca, the first thought, of course, in a lot of people's mind is doom, right? I'm not going to say that it hasn't crossed my mind, but I feel still that there is a lot more life in Stowe. And that even now, if someone were to start Star Trek Online now, they would still have a great experience in playing for a good 3, 4, 5 year Star Trek Online. Where does that put now my time frame for Stowe in terms of how much it has left? I'm still gonna say 3 to 5, 5 to 10. 10 maybe pushing it, to be honest. But with current Trek still being a thing, like as the recording of this video, we have Star Trek Discovery coming up. We still have Star Trek Strange New Worlds, Lower Decks, Prodigy on. New series starting up, I believe like Academy or something. A movie. So there's still a lot of Trek. And at the end of the day, as long as Star Trek Online show makes money, it's still going to continue. Now, I don't know what their current financial ranking or, rankings are right now, or how much they're actually making at this point. I'm going to throw in this though. With the majority of the reaction of the 14th anniversary bundle, I would like to know if that was a successful bundle or not by their, stats in terms of anniversary bundles previously up to this point. I don't feel like it has sold as well. Individual ships, sure, like the Atlantis, the Awani, I think those ships have really sold well. I've seen a bunch of those reviews out there, even just personally flying them. They're great ships. But the bundle in a whole, I feel like just disappointment, not just from me, but from everyone. So I say that to say, I wonder if this is also a reason, a layer, a level of why Thomas is putting this out there. Because this was out yesterday. So it's been about 24 hours since this posting of Thomas's on his LinkedIn page. So again, he's looking for the next opportunity. He's not out yet. Now, having said that, I don't know how, let's say, someone who is his supervisor, manager, would look at this and go, well, this guy's on the way out, and let's just get rid of him. Or, hopefully, the reaction would be, okay, listen, guys, Thomas, who is the art director, who is responsible for getting the Odyssey canonized, and so much of Star Trek Online ships canonized, is looking for a job. Let's go talk to him. We need to talk to him. We need to keep him. I hope that's the reaction when they see this or find this out. Because if by some miracle any of Thomas's bosses see this video, please do not lose Thomas. Please. He has put his heart and soul in this, and it shows. He has put a lot of his personal time into ensuring that we get the ships that we've gotten so far, that we've gotten the remasters, all the collaborations he's done. It would be such a big loss, if Thomas leaves Star Trek Online. I'm hoping Decca does something. His bosses do something to try to retain him, to try to keep him. Because I feel like if I was, let's say, the supervisor, manager, whatever, I'd be, Thomas, can we talk? Can we, you got some time? Listen, I don't want to lose you. You have done too much for Star Trek Online. And for someone of your experience, your connections, your tenure, it would be not a good thing for Star Trek Online to lose someone like you. So I hope that's sort of what happens at this point. But going back to, if he does, then I would say there'd be a huge slowdown in remastering. We'd still get new ships and such, but I feel like any remasters left from the tier 5, let's say like the Dyson ships, I know those are I've seen a lot of forums or comments over the years that they need to be remastered or T6'd. That it's going to be slowed down. So I know I've ranted about this for a little bit, but again, I hope he stays. I really do hope he stays. His boss, please, sirs, ma'ams, can you please keep Thomas? But Thomas, if by chance you see this video up to this point, or you even see this video, you got to do what you got to do. No one can hold you back. If you really are looking for the next sort of step in your career, as you mentioned here, I wish you all the best. We wish you all the best. I hope it's still within Star Trek, because that's on his resume. And Paramount, you can use someone like him. I'm pretty sure you can. Someone in Star Trek can use him. Now, I also kind of went to the Stowe Reddit, and this was interesting. Of course, this is the title. Seems Stowe has lost Thomas Marone at dark times. Again, the whole Doom thing. I don't think it is. As long as a game, any game, makes money, profits, they're going to keep churning content for it. Having said that, that's why I mentioned earlier, my question is, I wonder how the 14th anniversary bundle did. And if this had anything to do with it, right? Because he doesn't make necessarily all the decisions in Star Trek Online when it comes to like the executive decisions. He is the art director, but he's not the executive producer or whatever. So we're going to go over some of the comments here just to see kind of the thoughts out there. So I thought he would be the one employee that they would try to keep. See, same wavelength here. Without the shiny new ships to sell, what are they going to monetize? Production in life. Again, I still think ships are going to be churned out because there's still people there to make the ships under Thomas, right? Obviously, he's heavily involved, but at least that's what I'd like to think. And of course, he is the best, of course. I have little doubt that Thomas didn't want to leave either when everyone else put on looking for work. He didn't, but I think it's safe to say now that Decca is fully taking over, and even Thomas knows he simply does not have a future on Stowe, has a plan for that. And has to plan for it. I don't think he doesn't have a future in Stowe. That I would disagree with that. His resume would say different. I don't know what the benefit would be to losing him, saying, let's say firing him, letting him go to get someone else new in. I don't see the benefit of that at all. You have someone who is pretty much at the prime of their career, and to lose that over what? Just cost? Like that'd be stupid. Mind you, that'd be one of the number one reasons, but regardless, the community, his sort of just longevity, and everyone knows what he has done. It has to be taken into account. So, I truly feel that Thomas was the soul of Stowe, and losing would be devastating no matter. I mean, that would be, that would be pretty devastating. I mean, judging from the lower statement, from curious, I'm still, the implication I'm getting, yeah. So he's leaving them, as in getting ready, ensuring, making sure, right? Yeah, that he's got something backed up. So is it fair to start being concerned about the game's longevity? I don't, again, I still think there's years left. 3 to 5, 10 would be pushing it. Just because of the reasons I stated earlier, of the current shows we have going. And as long as they make money. But they have to be smart in how they make money. The 14th anniversary bundle, I don't think that's the way. I hope that they saw at least some of the reactions from fellow content creators, forums, on their X feed. But yeah, maybe we shouldn't do that again. So whoever made that decision, I don't agree with. Okay, so 100%. Now this was a great comment here. Decca is actively hiring. Okay, so Decca, actively hiring engineering community and narrative people to work on Stowe. So the game will be around for a while longer because it's consistently listed as a top 10 revenue earner for Embracer Group. It just won't be the current Cryptic team running it. So I like that, and we've known about that detail that Deca was hiring, and that there was I believe a storyteller just recently hired for Stowe. Again, that's a good sign, but for Thomas to leave, I would think the best thing Deca could do is just retain Thomas, bring him on board, give him a bigger role. You might have to pay him a little bit more to make sure that we're securing him for Stowe, but it's for your benefit. It's for everyone's benefit, really, if we're going to be honest here, right? Because what will go with him will also be an effect of just like it's just a hit from Stowe. What will go with him is just the knowledge, and morale would just drop to an all-time low. Because for me, I've always heard the name Thomas. You know, the community managers that we've had over the years, I think this Kale is our fifth one I've gone through, I've been under. We've been under. Thomas's name has been a staple there since I started playing Star Trek Online back in 2014. So 10 years already, and that's a long time. That's a long time in any work environment. And here you go. With all MMOs, it really just comes down to money. I mean, EverQuest still gets new expansions. As long as Stowe turns a profit, it'll get new content. So, and here's probably the last one we'll go to. At least he got to see the Stowe fleet officially made into canon, starting to feel like Picard 3 Season 3 was the final chapter in public. Just annoy it. Well, you know, it's hard. Again, you know, planning for the next chapter. If he's going to go out, he has got such a great resume to go off of, right? So, again, Captain's not the best sort of things we wanted to cover, but I don't think it was all negative. I'd like to think our ECs that we dropped on this matter was kind of, yeah, it sucks, surprise, but let's try to look at both sides. For him, for Stowe, and what's going to be best. For me, the best would be for Deca to retain Stowe, obviously. But if he's got to go, he's got to do it for him and his family. So you can't really pin him down for that. But if he's just trying to get ahead of the curve, thinking that he will be let go, now would be the time for him to get a reassurance from his bosses to say, we love you. Please stay. You have contributed so much, and it would be devastating loss. So I hope that is the case scenario, but we'll have to wait and see, my cap. So the last thing we'll cover here is when I was logging off on Stowe after doing my dailies, yeah, I got a patch, and there's no notes for it. Nothing in the Star Trek Online X feed, and we'll refresh that and come back to it, but it was like a 6-minute, one of the longest patches I've ever had. And I don't know, I didn't see any notes on it. You go back here to the X feed, nothing. I went to the ARC forums, nothing. You know, and it was weird. When I started, there was no, it was just instant like it normally is. But when I exited, and usually that happens when there's new content coming down the pipeline, which is weird because we just got the 14th anniversary bundle on PC. This is on PC I'm talking about, my daily on the PC. So it's kind of weird. So we're going to have to see if that means something. It's been, you know, a good weeks, a month since the 14th anniversary bundle. What could be next? I mean, at the last year's Clipper 2023, when it came to news story, it was about 2-3 months. So if it's new content coming up already, great, but we're still in the middle, as of the drop of this video, of the Pavo event, which I think tomorrow or the next day is when I'll actually be able to get my reward there for that event. So we're still kind of in the middle of that. So I don't know what that is, unless it was just try to fix something. Who knows? But Captains, if you know, let me know in the comments below what you think the pre-patch was for, and or any thoughts that you may have. So Caps, that is the video. Thought we would just go over the latest of what we had thought we wanted to drop some ECs on. Again, my apologies if I'm sounding a little clogged up and for the rant that we went over, but again, we just wanted to share our thoughts here on the bridge with you, Caps. So do us a favor, hit the like button on this video to help the channel out. Comment below, let us know your thoughts. I'd like to know what you Caps think, as one of the reasons why you've subscribed here to the YouTube Bridge is we're always on the lookout for like-minded captains. So are we on the same wavelength here? What are your thoughts? I really like to know. But if you're new here, consider subscribing to the YouTube Bridge. And with that said, we'll leave it on this note.
Live long and prosper.